During their long lives, the Stoics learned how to understand people, including how complicated women's minds can be. They believed that true power comes from controlling oneself and how one interacts with the world. This ancient wisdom can be used in modern times, especially when it comes to attraction and intimacy. Today we're going to talk about how to make a magnetic pull so strong when you're sitting next to a woman that 99% of girls will feel an irresistible pull toward you. We're not just talking about how to get closer physically. We're also talking about the mental and emotional parts that make these times so powerful, like how to use the right body language and pick up on the subtle cues that make people want to be with you. You will learn how to connect better in each lesson. Don't forget to watch until the end to get the whole picture. If you enjoyed this video, please like, follow, and share your thoughts below. Let's start with Chapter 1 and share your stories if you have any. You are close. Sitting close to a woman isn't just about getting closer. It's also about making an atmosphere of closeness that goes beyond words. The closeness you create sets the stage for a deeper relationship, as one that is based on minor psychological cues and body language. When you sit close to her, you are consciously moving into her private space. If you do it right, this can spark an interest that words alone might not be able to do. Being sure of yourself is one of the most important parts of sitting close. Trust is important here. Any hint of doubt or nerves can quickly ruin the moment. Women are very sensitive to the energy you give off, and any confusion can make her feel uneasy. The Stoics, who were great at controlling their emotions and self-control, would stress how important it is to stay calm in these situations. They think a man should always be in charge of himself, but especially when he's close to the woman he wants to be with. This means staying calm and in charge of your body language. For example, if you sit close with confidence and ease, you show that you're okay with being close, which can make her feel more at ease and open to connecting with you. But it's important to remember that sitting close isn't just about where you're sitting. Place yourself, it's also about how you position your body in relation to hers. Lean in slightly, just enough to suggest interest, but not so much that it feels intrusive. This slight lean can convey warmth and engagement without coming across as overly eager or desperate. Your body language should be open and relaxed, facing her, but not crowding her space. This delicate balance between closeness and respect is what makes your presence feel inviting rather than overwhelming when done right. This can make her more receptive to your presence and more likely to engage with you on a deeper level. Additionally, sitting close allows you to pick up on her subtle cues more easily. This is where your observational skills come into play. Notice how she reacts to your proximity. Does she, leaning closer, maintain eye contact or perhaps play with her hair? These are all signs that she's comfortable and possibly even attracted to you. Being able to recognize these cues is essential, because they will guide your next moves. You can keep making the connection if she's sending positive signals. If she seems uncomfortable or distant, on the other hand, you may want to give her a little more space. Another important thing about sitting close is that it lets you create a shared moment. Being close to a woman is more than just being physically close to her. It's about making a space where intimacy can grow. It's about being confident, respectful, and observant, so that she feels both intrigued and at ease in your presence. By mastering the art of sitting close, you set the stage for a deeper connection that can lead to genuine attraction. The Stoics knew that true power comes from within, and by tapping into that inner strength, you can make powerful connections with others, including the women you desire. Part 2. Keep her interested. Maintaining a woman's interest is important when you're sitting close. Being close sets the tone, but you need to do more than that to keep her attention. You need to create a dynamic interaction that captivates her. Women are naturally drawn to men who can keep them thinking and feeling. Stoics, who were experts at conversation and connecting with people, said that this is where you can really show how smart and emotionally intelligent you are. To start, make sure the conversation is about something interesting but not too serious. Light-hearted banter, interesting questions, and sharing experiences can keep the conversation going and fun. It's not about impressing her with big stories or trying to take over the conversation. Instead, it's about making her feel at ease and ready to contribute. The more you keep her involved in the conversation, the more she'll connect. Your presence with good feelings, which is important for making her feel connected to you. Body language also plays a big part in keeping her involved. When you're sitting close, use small gestures to reinforce your interest. A small touch on the arm to make a point that you're not listening or making strong eye contact can help you connect with someone better. The Stoics thought that body language was very important, and that what you don't say is often just as important as what you do say. Being confident and paying attention with your body language will show that you are fully present with her. Another important thing to do to keep her interested is to listen. When a woman talks, men who listen carefully are often more attractive than men who just wait their turn to talk. When she finishes, respond with thought and follow-up questions that show you're genuinely interested. This not only keeps the conversation going, but it also makes her feel valued and understood, which can deepen the emotional connection. The Stoics would tell you to practice active listening because it not only builds rapport but also shows respect and empathy. As the talk goes on, don't be afraid to add some mystery. Tell her interesting things about your life, but don't tell her everything at once. Leave some details open-ended or imply that there's more to your story than what you're telling. This subtle play of withholding information can pique her interest and make her more interested in getting to know you better. Women are naturally curious, and by hiding some parts of your life, you create a sense of intrigue that draws her in. Finally, be aware of the balance between speaking and silence. When you're close, a comfortable silence can be just as powerful as words. Stoics valued the art of silence because they knew that deepest connections are often made in quiet moments. By embracing silence, you let the tension build, which makes the next words you say even more powerful. To sum up, keeping her interested while sitting close isn't just about talking. It's about making an experience that is intellectually stimulating, emotionally satisfying, and slightly mysterious. By mastering the art of engaging her mind and emotions, you make her more invested in the interaction, which increases her attraction to you. Chapter 3. Slowly add float while keeping her interested. It's important to flirt with her while keeping the conversation going. Flirting is an art that, when done right, can build a strong link and make her more interested in you. However, it's important to be careful and subtle about this step to make sure that her advances are welcomed and returned. Stoics say that real confidence comes from within, and that your flirtation should be a natural extension of your confidence, not a forced or desperate attempt to win her over. To start, make your eye contact stronger when you're sat close together. Making and keeping eye contact can help you feel more connected and intimate. Look at them for a little longer than normal, and don't be afraid to show a little smile. The Stoics believed in the power of subtlety, which means that the most powerful messages are often those that are not spoken. Once you've made eye contact, start teasing her in a playful way. This shows that you're comfortable enough to poke fun at her and yourself without taking things too seriously. The key is to keep the teasing light and never do anything that could be taken as mean. The goal is to make her smile, laugh, and feel at ease in your company. In addition to teasing her verbally, use light, casual touches. For example, if she tells you a joke or says something funny, lightly touch her arm or shoulder to make her laugh. These small actions can help you connect physically with her in addition to your words. One touch is a great way to flirt because it can show attention and make you feel close. The calm ones. People who value human connection would tell you to be aware of how your touch is received and pay attention to her body language. If she responds positively, you can continue, but if she seems uncomfortable, you should back off and respect her boundaries. As the conversation gets more flirtatious, you can start to offer compliments, but they should be specific and genuine instead of general or overly lavish. Tell her you appreciate something about her, like her smile. You can make her feel special and loved by complimenting her on something funny she does or something unique you've noticed about her. This is a key part of building attraction. Lastly, as the flirtation gets stronger, start to build tension. You can do this by pausing the conversation and just looking at her, letting the moment hang in the air. These pauses can create a sense of anticipation and excitement, making the interaction feel more charged and personal. The Stoics knew that tension is a normal part of human interaction, and that, when used correctly, it can bring out stronger emotions and deeper connections. To sum up, introducing flotation is about finding the right balance between confidence and subtlety to make her feel both interested and valued. By gradually making eye contact, teasing her, and touching her lightly, you can create a flirty atmosphere that deepens the connection and makes her more attracted to you. Chapter 4. Touching someone you like can be a strong way to show interest and build intimacy without words, but you need to be careful not to lose your confidence. Kindness and respect. Touch is one of the most direct ways to show attraction, but it needs to be done carefully so that it strengthens the link instead of making it uncomfortable. Stoics, who were known for being very smart about how to deal with people, would say that these kinds of actions should be based on respect and care so that your touch is both welcome and valued. The key to initiating touch lies in being attuned to the moment. Look for natural opportunities to make light, non-intrusive contact, such as when you're laughing together, sharing a private joke, or emphasizing a point in conversation. These moments should feel organic and unforced, aligning with the Stoic principle of living in harmony with the natural flow of events. For example, when handing her a drink or showing her something on your phone, let your fingers briefly brush against hers. These small, seemingly incidental touches can help establish a sense of closeness without appearing too forward. As you begin to introduce touch, start with the lightest and briefest of contacts. A gentle brush of your fingers against hers, or a momentary touch on her hand, can convey your interest while still being subtle. The Stoics believed in the power of subtlety and the importance of measured actions. In this context, the lightness of your touch allows her to feel your interest without feeling pressured or overwhelmed if she responds positively by smiling, maintaining eye contact, or not pulling away. This can be taken as a sign that she's comfortable and receptive to further touch. Once you're both comfortable, you can slowly increase how often and how strongly you touch each other. Shift from touching her briefly to making more intentional moves, like holding her hand lightly for a moment longer, or running your fingers along the back of her hand. In line with the Stoic ideal of moderation, these actions should still be subtle and gentle. The goal is to create a gradual development of intimacy so that she can get used to the closer quarters at her own pace. At every stage, it's important to be aware of how she reacts. If she touches you back by holding your hand, leaning in closer, or making more physical contact herself, that's a good sign that she likes the connection and feels safe. She's comfortable with you, but if she pulls away, tenses up, or seems uncomfortable, you should remember her limits and not go any further. Stoics stressed the importance of self-discipline and controlling one's wants. In this case, that means knowing when to back off and give her space. It's also important to be aware of how your touch makes her feel. Touching someone's fingers or hands is more than just a mechanical action. It's a way of communicating your feelings and intentions. The Stoics believed in the power of intention, and in this case, your intention should be to create a positive emotional experience for her, one that makes her feel better and strengthens your relationship. Also, think about the timing and setting of your touch. The atmosphere around you can have a big effect on how it's received. For example, a light touch during a quiet, private conversation will probably have a different effect than the same touch in a loud public place. The Stoics would remind you to be aware of the situation and make sure that your actions are appropriate. Finally, keep in mind that initiating touch doesn't mean rushing into physical contact. Instead, it's about making a connection that feels natural and two-way. The goal is to make her feel valued and understood, not to show dominance or control. By approaching touch with thought and care, you can create moments of genuine connection that resonate with both of you on a deeper level. To sum up, initiating light touch is a delicate process that requires confidence, attention, and a deep respect for her boundaries and feelings. By being mindful of the moment and starting with short, gentle touches and gradually increasing the intensity, You can create a sense of intimacy that deepens the connection and makes her more attracted to you. As the Stoics said, everything must be done with wisdom, patience, and a clear intention to build something meaningful and lasting. Chapter 5. Whisper in her ear. If you're sitting close to a woman, talking in her ear is a very private and effective way to get to know her better. Being close to her by whispering gets you closer, and the sound of your voice so close can give her chills. To make sure this method works, though, it needs to be delivered at the right time and with a deep understanding of the situation. Stoics, who were famous for their measured speech and deep understanding of the power of words, said that the words you whisper are just as important as the act itself. To start, the timing of your whisper is very important. It should happen after you and the other person have already felt comfortable and close. This is not something you should do quickly, especially if you want to share a private joke or say something that you only want her to hear. Whispering too soon can feel too personal, which could make the situation awkward. Stoics believed in being patient and able to read the room. In this case, that means waiting for the perfect time when whispering feels natural and right. Before leaning in, it's important to pay attention to the flow of the conversation and the emotional tone. If you do decide to whisper, what you say is, it doesn't matter if you share a compliment, a funny joke, or something that only the two of you can understand. The word you choose should be carefully picked to strengthen the connection and make her feel special and appreciated. Stoics believed that words could change relationships, and this is a great example of how that power can be used well. What you say should make her feel something, creating a shared moment that makes your relationship stronger. The tone of your voice is also very important. When you whisper, it should be soft, warm, and inviting, making her feel close. The way you say something can often have a bigger effect than what you say. A soft, almost breathy tone can make the moment feel more personal and emotional. The Stoics said to pay attention to how you say things, because they can say more than just words. Your tone should subtly show that you're interested and attracted to her, and your body language is also important. As you lean in to whisper, your closeness to her should feel natural and not intrusive. The Stoics believed in moderation in everything, and in this case that means finding the right balance between being close and giving her space. Your goal is not to make her feel crowded or uncomfortable, but to connect with her. Small movements, like tilting your head or lightly touching her arm as you lean in, can add depth to the whisper, making it more than just words. After whispering in her ear, it's important to pay close attention to how she reacts. If she smiles, laughs, or responds positively, it's a clear sign that she liked the gesture. This means that she's comfortable with the level of closeness you've introduced and is probably feeling more connected to you as a result. If she seems shocked or uncomfortable, you should be aware of this and change how you talk to her. The Stoics believed in the importance of adapting to the situation, which in this case means being aware of her responses and respecting her boundaries. If she seems uncomfortable, it's best to back off and switch to a more normal tone of voice. The emotional content of the whisper is also very important. Whispering isn't just a physical act, it's also a way to share feelings and get closer to someone emotionally. Talking to her in her ear with a whisper is more than just touching her. It sends a message of connection, warmth, and care. Stoics believed that intention had power. In this case, your goal should be to give her a good and personal emotional experience. Your whisper should make her feel loved and understood. A well-timed whisper can improve your emotional connection with her, and its effects can last longer than the moment they happen. It can create a lasting memory of a private moment you share with her that she may remember with fondness in the future. This shared experience can become a point of link in your relationship that makes you two stronger. The Stoics knew how important it was to build strong, meaningful relationships through thoughtful and deliberate actions. In addition to the first whisper, think about how you could build on this moment with more whispers throughout your interaction. As the night goes on, you can use whispering as a recurring motif, each time drawing her closer and deepening the connection. This can create a rhythm of intimacy where each whisper builds on the last, gradually strengthening the bond between you. Stoics believed in the value of consistency and perseverance. In this case, that means consistently strengthening the connection through your actions and words. To sum up, whispering in her ear while you're sitting close is a powerful and intimate way to deepen the connection and make an unforgettable experience. Just make sure you pick the right time to do it. By speaking in a soft, warm tone and paying close attention to how she reacts and how she feels, you can make her feel special, valued, and drawn to you. If you use this technique with confidence and sensitivity, it can increase her attraction and help you build a stronger, more meaningful relationship with her. The Stoics would remind you that your words, tone, and intention should all work together to make a positive and lasting impact in every interaction, but especially in a close one like this one. 6. The book Read Her Response as you continue to connect with her through close conversation and soft touches. It's important to pay close attention to how she responds to your approaches. It's important to read her response properly to know if she's genuinely interested and okay with where the conversation is going. The Stoics, who were people who pay close attention to how people act, would say that this step needs patience, awareness, and a lot of respect for her feelings and limits. First, look at her body language. If she's leaning in closer, moving in sync with you, or making eye contact, these are all good signs that she's comfortable with you and might be interested in you. On the other hand, if she's pulling away, this is a bad sign. If she crosses her arms or doesn't look at you, it could mean she's not as interested or comfortable as you had thought. The Stoics thought it was important to be aware of the subtleties of human interaction. They knew that deeds and body language often spoke louder than words. Pay attention to what she says. Does she laugh at your jokes? Positive verbal responses show that she's interested in the conversation and enjoys your company. If her responses are short and hesitant, or if she changes the subject a lot, you might think that she's not fully invested in the interaction. The Stoics valued clear and honest communication, which includes being able to read between the lines of what is said and what isn't said. This also includes how she reacts to physical touch. If you initiate light touches or lean closer to whisper, how does she react if she reciprocates with touches of her own? Maintains physical closeness. If she pulls away or seems stiff when you touch her, it's important to respect her boundaries and not push further. The Stoics taught the importance of moderation and self-control, and in this case that means not forcing an interaction that isn't mutual. Another thing to think about is her overall mood. Is she smiling, laughing, and having a good time? Or does she seem distracted, tense, or uninterested? Her general vibe can tell you a lot about whether she's interested in you or just being polite. Harmony and balance were important to the Stoics in relationships, and part of that balance is figuring out when things are naturally moving forward and when they aren't. Lastly, pay attention to her comfort level. Even if she's responding to your advances, it's important to make sure she's really comfortable and not just going along with things to be polite. Stoics stress the importance of understanding and empathy in all interactions. In this case, that means being aware of her needs and feelings, and being ready to slow down or change course if needed. To sum up, reading her reciprocation means being aware of, respectful of, and responsive to her signals. By paying close attention to her body language, verbal cues, and overall comfort level, you can figure out if she's interested and comfortable, which lets you handle the interaction in a way that respects her boundaries and strengthens the connection. Chapter 7. Take it further if you can. If you've carefully read her signals and found that she's also interested in you, the next step is to take the conversation further if you can. This is where things could go from flirting to something more intimate, but you should be careful and sensitive, making sure that any advances you make are welcomed and appreciated. The Stoics said that to be truly wise, you need to know when to act and when to wait, and you need to make sure that your deeds fit with what's going on. Being present in the moment is the first step to taking things further. Look for signs that she's ready to go deeper, like lingering eye contact, light touches, or a more personal tone in the conversation. If the mood feels right, you could move closer or do something more daring, like hold her hand or brush her hair back from her face. Stoics thought it was important to be fully present and involved in the present moment. This is especially true when deciding how to take a conversation to the next level, before making any big moves. It is important to make sure that both sides have a clear goal. If you're not sure if she's comfortable and interested in you, ask yourself if her actions and words have consistently shown that. If there's any doubt or if her signals have been mixed, it's better to be safe. The Stoics believed that it's better to miss a chance than to risk crossing lines. If the chance seems right, act with confidence but also care. For example, if you want to start a kiss, do it slowly and carefully. Get her answer. If she gives you a positive answer, you can move forward. If she hesitates or pulls away, respect her limits and don't push her any further. The Stoics believed in the virtue of temperance, which means acting in moderation and knowing the limits of what is appropriate. It's also important to communicate clearly and honestly. If you feel a strong connection and want to take things further, it's okay to say so. For example, you could say, "I really enjoy spending time with you," or, "I feel a strong connection between us." This makes your intentions clear and gives her a chance to say how she's feeling. The Stoics believed in communication that is clear and honest is very important when dealing with close relationships. Finally, be ready to accept her answer, no matter what it is. If she wants to take things further, that's great, but if not, accept her choice without any drama. The Stoics taught us that we should focus on what we can control, our actions and reactions, rather than trying to change the outcome. If she says she's not ready or interested, respect her choice and continue to be kind and respectful to her. In conclusion, going further when the chance arises requires balancing confidence with respect and making sure that your actions are in line with her wants and comfort level by paying attention to the present. As this episode comes to a close, you can strengthen your connection with her in a way that feels natural and good for both of you if you talk to her clearly and respect her limits. Each of the methods we've looked at shows that building a strong relationship with someone requires a mix of tact, confidence, and respect. Sitting close, showing interest, whispering in her ear, reading her responses, and knowing when to take it further are all important ways to deepen your connection and increase attraction. The Stoics taught us that balance and understanding are at the heart of human connection. By keeping these ideas in mind, you can not only make meaningful connections but also foster genuine, respectful interactions. Remember that the goal is to make you and your partner feel safe and comfortable so that you can explore your relationship without feeling rushed or uncomfortable. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to watch the whole video, like it, and subscribe to our channel for more tips and tricks. Tell us about your experiences and how you've used these techniques in your own life in the comments. Your feedback helps us make content that speaks to you and other people who are also trying to master the art of connection. Thanks for joining us today and see you next time. Stay true to the art of respect and subtlety in your relationships. We'll see you in the next show.